Look at him. That's the
Salute.
legend coming through like the flu. How you doing, good sir?
I'm doing good, man. I was watching y'all the whole time, so I said let me hop on with these guys.
Yeah, man. Let me go ahead and get your thoughts, though. We just talked about Tefimo, so we can start there, Todd. What are your thoughts? Who do you like in that fight between him and Jamaine Ortiz?
I'd probably go with Tefimo Lopez. Both guys fought. Lomachenko. Of course, Tefimo Lopez, he beat him. He did it conventionally, but for some reason, Loma just started slow. So, but once he started, letting them hands go, he was in his zone. But he just started too late in that fight. But Tefimo Lopez, man, I'm going with him. Just based on his performance against Josh Taylor. He looked spectacular. Loma, not Loma, but Ortiz. He doesn't have a lot of power. So I mean that doesn't favor him in his fight. So and he had a win over a older Jamel Herring. So just based on these guys' fights and their last performances, I'm probably go with Tefimo Lopez. Probably by decision. But even though he looked good against Josh Taylor, he still had that bad performance against Santa Martin. So we just have to wait to see how it plays out. But I'm definitely going to go with Tefimo Lopez by decision. But I am upset that this fight is on a Thursday. I don't know why Top Rank is doing this, putting it on a Thursday. To me it makes sense for these fights to be on a Saturday, but it is what it is, man.
Yeah, I think they're doing it because of the Super Bowl weekend, and then I think because it's also in. I think is this fight in Vegas because that would probably make. I don't know because then again you the marketing in me would be like, okay, it's people out here already for Super Bowl and they got money. They probably want to see this fight too. But I think that's what it is.
Well, they got other days too that they could. They didn't have to do this day.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they had Shakur. Shakur was fighting on Thursday too. Remember when he fought against De Los Santos? That was on Thursday also.
Yeah. And hardly anybody was even there. They were booing.
Yeah, that's crazy. But see, the thing is, too, is it's going to really mess up the numbers because the people who's coming, they probably getting there like Friday or they might get there Thursday. And it's like they getting ready for the Super Bowl. And it's like, do you want to drop some more money, for this right here? Who knows? I just think that Bob is getting a better rate on Thursday as opposed to Saturday. So he like, let's go ahead and do that. Let me see. Did we talk about anything else? Let me go. Let me move on. Oh, I'm going the wrong direction. All right. Let's go ahead and get to this news, man. You got Tyson Fury. And so we're going into our news portion of the episode. This week, Tyson Fury had to pull out of the Alexander Usyk fight because of a cut over one of his eyes. Now, just today or this morning or last night, they rescheduled it for May 18th. You guys have any thoughts on what Usyk should do? You think that he should, because there is speculation that he could challenge Herkovich. They're trying to get Fury stripped so he can fight Herkovich for the other belt. You guys have any thoughts on
that? It's funny because maybe 4 or 5 days before this happened, people were joking online like, I'd be surprised if Fury made it to this fight and didn't pull out. And I was like, I thought about it. I was like, I don't know, it's too close. And then this happened. So go back to the cut picture. I gotta make sure that's not digitally, put there, or they ain't messing around on this. I'm gonna have to look at this picture and pixel it out.
Or it could be after that. Remember, he had that one fight when he got cut. He had a cut like that.
Yeah.
It could have been that a picture of that, as opposed to.
But you know what? Even though this fight has been postponed, I do think that because I've also heard rumors that Fury is getting worked over in sparring.
He was getting lit up, yeah.
He was getting lit up. I mean, which, sometimes in sparring you need to get lit up so you can get better. But I heard he was getting lit up, a little bit too much. And I heard, Jai Opataya was lighting him up at one point too, and they kicked him out of sparring. Stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if Fury just decides to 2 months from now, he decides to just call it quits and retire and decide I can't get up for this guy, I won't be surprised. So if I'm Usyk, he kind of in a bad spot because Herkovich is not no slouch. So and that Fury fight is always going to be out there until Fury does say I'm out the game. But he can't keep waiting on Fury because Fury is going to keep pushing that goalpost and doing that. So if I'm Usyk, I would probably take that fight against Herkovich. I would take it. Simply because if you wait on Tyson Fury, Fury might just end up retiring, and then you've been out of the ring for almost a year. I can see that happening.
You got any thoughts on that, Ty?
Yeah, I just want to say, like, when I got the news, man, I was highly disappointed because, you know, this is a fight that I was interested in seeing for a minute. And it's a lot of people are saying this is typical Fury. Fury does stuff like this. But I seen a video. I can't really judge it. You know, he did have headgear on and everything, but Fury has been cut bad in the past, as you mentioned, against Odo Wallin. And I'm not sure if it's the same eye. If it's the same eye, then it's obviously he has some bad scar tissue. Like, we've seen this in the past with Anthony Durrell. You know, Anthony Durrell cuts easily in a lot of his fights. So if it's the same eye, he could just have some bad scar tissue. Yes, I am happy that, you know, the fight just got pushed back to a later date. But as far as Usyk, you know, fighting Herkovich, I like that as well. But the thing is, what happens if Herkovich wins? You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, everybody most likely already got their tickets. And I don't know how this affects the undercard and all that. But I'm cool with him, you know, fighting Herkovich and, you know, just keeping the card going forward. And, you know, the fans will still have something to tune in. But sometimes when things happen like this, they try to make the main event. But like all around, I'm happy that it's pushed back, and I wouldn't mind seeing Usyk take on Herkovich.
Yeah, just only thing I'll say is just it's disappointing because it's like you said, it's one of the big fights that you want to see. You want to see their styles mesh against each other, the big man against the smaller man. See if the size is going to be too much for Usyk. Will Usyk's quickness and know-how be too much for Fury? So all of those things, you know, visually you were anticipating, and now we're not going to see it. And possibly, you know, we might possibly see it in May. We may not see it ever, you know what I mean? But we're just so close to, you know, having this monster clash take place that to me, the word that comes to mind is disappointing. Also, I just threw this in here, man, because my boy, you know what I'm saying, Gennady Golovkin, you know, the man that I love in the middleweight division. I haven't seen him, man. Like any word on this dude is that they need to put an APB out on my boy Gennady Golovkin, man. What's going on with him, man? What you think? You think that he should just go ahead and retire since he's been off for so long?
Yeah, because when he gave up his titles, it almost seemed like they were trying to say that he was done, but not quite. But once you give up your title, you have no intention of fighting. You might as well just retire. So I think he's just going almost like how let's say Evander Holyfield, where you knew he was retired, but he never said he was retired. So I think that's what it is. I think Triple G is done, to be honest.
No, don't tell me that, man. That's my boy right there.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, that's Triple G. You know, he's had the most power, you know, in his division. You know, he was on like a nice run. You know, I would say when he was on HBO boxing, he was on a nice run. He was stopping everybody. But once he, you know, stepped up in competition, you know, even though he dropped Danny Jacobs, to me, he really lost that fight. And, you know, so it's like once he stepped up in competition, his power didn't really follow him like that. And of course, we had the 3 fights against, you know, Canelo. And, you know, I felt he won the first one. He definitely lost the second 2, but he's older now. He's older, so it's most likely if he stays fighting these top guys, he's not going to get those knockouts that, you know, that the fans love to see. So I'm cool with it if he is retired. You know, he's already, you know, once he got on the scene, he already was a little older, but, you know, he gave, you know, the fans one hell of a run. You know, I'm cool with it if he retires.
Yeah. One thing I will say before I go to the next thing, that's a slick little outfit he got on. You see, he got the blues matching. You know, Triple G, he know a little bit about fashion. I see. You know what I'm saying? You remember how he got in the ring? He was looking like Alex Caruso with his little Laker stuff on. It's like, okay, little trip. So, you know, if he is retired, man, salute. You know, may he, you know, enjoy his days outside of the ring. You know, he deserves it. Very like great amateur, you know, and then also you put the work in the middleweight division. You know, class act, man, class act. All right, so now your boy, man, he over here saying he retired, you know, this week. I just think that the little fella was emotional. You know, we got people who love to get on Twitter now and they just want a reaction out of everybody. So he went ahead and said that he was just throwing a fit. And so, and he want people to be like, no, don't retire. You know, come back, Shakur, you know, that sort of thing. And so he just threw a little hissy fit, hit the send button saying that he retired. My thing is this, like, dude, you sitting up here upset. You know, he's saying that he's not. But I think that he's upset because he can't get the Navarrete fight. And they're allowing Navarrete to move up and fight for the WBO strap. Well, that's what they're talking about at 135. Eventually, you'll probably get him anyway. But you're not doing yourself any favors by threatening to not re-sign with Top Rank. So why would they do you any favors right now by giving you Navarrete if you're going to leave? You know what I mean? So none of it makes sense of like, he's hustling backwards, like he's not doing. You always want to make it seem like if you're with that company that it's a good chance that you're coming back, even if you're gonna go in a different direction. You know what I'm saying? That's the art of war. Like you don't tell your intentions, especially to somebody you signed to, if you're gonna go in a different direction, because then it's gonna be where I'm more likely to try to harm you than to help you. You know what I mean? If I'm the person that you're going to leave. You know what I'm saying? So also, you know, him having a hissy fit about Navarrete, you know, talking about people like Devin Haney, who now campaigns at 140. I rarely hear him even mention Tank Davis. But most importantly, why aren't you directing your attention at that man right there who adversely impacted your career? Like after De Los Santos fight, that's when people start questioning Shakur. So why don't you rewrite the wrong and fight him and then worry about all of this other stuff? Because that's where the issue lies, is the fact that you had such a subpar performance against De Los Santos. People are questioning you. So now answer those questions that people have by defeating De Los Santos in an impressive fashion and then move on. But what do you guys think about this quote unquote retirement of Shakur Stevenson?
Yeah, I think it's a weird thing with him. And I don't like you. I don't understand the process behind it because it's kind of working against him. But I understand his point, though. I understand the point. I just don't understand how he's dealing with that point. Because he was always a threat to just about any of those top fighters. I just think that before that fight with Prograis, well, after the fight with Prograis, Devin Haney is the only one I think I would favor over Shakur. But even before that, I favored Shakur over all those guys and thought they were kind of staying away from him. You know, Tank Davis. I mean, we know that for a fact that Isaac Cruz was ducking him, didn't want to fight him. Lomachenko won't talk to him. And then now you got Navarrete, who his people is calling Shakur boring and stuff like that. So I kind of understand. And to an extent, I do agree with you, Will. He should right the wrong against Los Santos. The only problem with that is Top Rank going to sign off on that fight again? And he would have to lose money in order to prove that he's that guy. Right? Let's say he takes that fight with Los Santos and just puts on a crazy performance where he stops the guy. Nobody believes that's going to happen until it happens. So it won't be a lot of butts in those seats. So you'll probably lose money. But the whole retirement thing, I don't know what it is. This new generation, like, I feel like they just entitled, want attention. They don't talk about me. They're not talking about me like they're talking about Tank. And Haney, the average fighter like this is supposed to just take those fights. His mindset is supposed to be a line them up and I'll take them out, whoever they are. I don't care if it's Navarrete, whomever. I don't care who they are. Just line them up. These people won't fight me. I'll fight these guys. Kind of like what Boots is doing. Boots is like, hey, if you won't fight me, I'm gonna fight somebody, and I'm gonna line them up. I'm gonna knock them down. And I think that's the way it should be. This whole I need attention thing, it's just it's cap to me. It's cap.
Childish.
Yes, it's childish.
Yeah, my thoughts on it. Yeah, I think he's just capping. You know, he's just bluffing about it. But we've seen a pattern with a few of these top ranked guys. You know, Tefimo Lopez was just recently did this, and Big Baby Jared Anderson was recently talking about retirement and all this. So it seems like it's just a pattern with these top ranked guys. I mean, I don't know what it is. Like Shakur, maybe he's just upset about the Navarrete situation, or like Tefimo Lopez, he mentioned it, I guess, due to the purchase and the paydays. So it just seemed like it's a pattern. Maybe it has something to do with Bob Arum. I don't know, but we all know that Bob Arum's been in the game a long time, and he's a good promoter. You know, he signed a lot of good fighters. So I don't know, man. I think it's just cap, and he's just upset about the Navarrete situation. Yes, of course, he had a bad performance against Santos, and a lot of people were upset about that, but Shakur, Jared Anderson, Tefimo Lopez, these guys are all in their 20s, man. They're all in their 20s. I'm sure they're getting nice paydays. They got a lot to offer to the sport. So, if Shakur really is retiring, it's like, what's he going to do then? You know what I mean? So, I mean, he's got a lot left to give to the sport. So I think this retiring talk is just a whole bunch of cat. And, he's just upset about the Navarrete situation, but I'm pretty sure soon we're going to hear that he's got a fight lined up and he's going to be fighting somebody. So I think it's all just cap at the end of the day.
And again, he's not doing himself any favors. Like, who's going to really have sympathy for you, good guy? You making like millions of dollars fighting. So I might get upset with the fact that at my job that they not doing something I think they should do for me. But nobody's going to have sympathy for me if I say, I'm going to quit doing this. And no, man, you did all of that work to get where you are. And you're going to quit because of what somebody else is doing? I just think that you soft then, man. Like, mentally you soft. Like, you showing like chinks in your armor. Like, nah, if they doing this, then I'm going to go ahead and go around it by simply just whooping whoever they put me in the ring with. And y'all gonna clearly see who the best is. I don't care about the other stuff. I'm gonna get paid, but at the end of the day, when you see me in that ring, you're gonna know who the best, and they gonna know who the best. But you gotta have that type of mentality. You gotta have that type of cojones, man. You just don't have that anymore with some of these young whippersnappers, So that's why I go back when I was showing you the pictures of me on that court. You know what I'm saying? When I was over there balling, man. That's the mentality I had.
You didn't have no peach fuzz. You were still getting it in.
Yeah, man. We was over there getting it popping. Let me go ahead and put this back up here. Pac, man. So Pacquiao, the Saudis, man, they putting a lot of money out there. I don't know if y'all heard about the I think the king or prince out there, the one that's putting all of this money into fighting. He responded to Tank when Tank said he got to at least get 2 Ferraris for him to listen. And so he told him, he said, he got something for him. He said, I got 2 boxing gloves for you. So fight Haney. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget all that nonsense if you're supposed to be, a gladiator and whatnot. But anyway, Manny Pacquiao, he's considering coming out of retirement. They want to put some money up for the McGregor fight, but he also is interested in fighting Tank Davis. What are your thoughts on either one? You think Manny should, sit his old butt down, or would you welcome, Manny Pacquiao back in the ring after all of these years?
I mean, he's gonna do whatever he wants to do. Personally, he should sit his old butt down, unless it's McGregor. I mean, he can get in there with McGregor because I think McGregor is, the only threat that McGregor provides that his size. Honestly, I mean, he can't box. We already seen that. Pacquiao is not what he used to be, but he's still going to have enough skill and know-how to make that work for him. when you talk about a young guy like Tank Davis, I mean, I wouldn't even risk my legacy against that, because if you get knocked out by Tank Davis, right? Let's say he loses and gets knocked out, which could happen, might even be likely. Now you're gonna have Pacquiao will be known. They'll be laughing at him saying he got knocked out by Tank Davis. How good was he really, even though he won 8 titles? They're gonna look at the fact that he's in his 40s. They're gonna look at the fact that that's Pacquiao. And then, Tank Davis head's gonna blow up so much. He's gonna be the best thing since sliced bread. He's in his fans' mind, he's gonna be the number 1 pound for pound guy, the best. It's gonna be worse than it's gonna be 10 times worse than it is now. So if I'm Pacquiao, don't do that. Not for the money. No, don't do it, sir. And or Ryan Garcia, don't do it, sir.
Yeah, my thoughts on this, of course, I don't want to see this. Manny Pacquiao, man, he's a legend in this sport. He gave us, great fights for years. But his time is up. It wasn't that long ago. When he beat Adrian Broner, Keith Thurman. He was in his young 40s, and he gave great performances against those guys. But I mean, come on, man, like. We're seeing this trend in boxing now. We got Anthony Joshua doing it against Ngannou. Tyson Fury just did it. To me, it's just a money grab. Floyd's been doing these exhibitions. I mean, I'm not interested in it at all. And then him calling out Tank. I mean, come on, man. People's already bashing Tank for not taking good fights. So, and if Tank did take this fight, everybody's going to bash him even more because he's fighting an old Manny Pacquiao. I mean, his time is up. So. I mean, it's nothing that I would entertain. I mean, if he wants to do it to make money, I mean, go ahead for it. But yeah, I'm not interested in it at all.
So, man, old man, he might get in there and get busy on Tank. I don't know. Tank don't be fighting nobody. He might show a little few wrinkles Tank ain't never seen before. Run him up in that left hand. Tank might get to running around the ring. I don't know. But Manny, do you, man. You Manny Pacquiao, good brother. This dude right here. Come on, man. I would get in the ring with this dude at any chance that they allow me. So Mayweather CEO shuts down Haney fighting Tank. Well, Tank make more money than Devin, in his last 3 fights, so why should we, that sort of thing. So he's denying the opportunity for these dudes to fight, coming up with all types of excuses. The other thing is, not only is he providing this resistance, these obstacles, for this fight never to take place. Now, quick rundown. In previous years, when Devin Haney campaigned in Tank Davis's weight class for nearly 5 years or more, the thing was, well, the fight is not going. Right now, it need to marinate. It need to. It's not ready yet. Devin needs to do more. So once Devin does more, then we can go and start looking into fighting him. Now, dude won all of the. All the belts. You know what I'm saying? I just be the champ. Then it's like, well, Devin, he pricing himself out. So if he want to fight, then he gonna have to think about taking less money. Devin said, dude, just give me the same thing you gave Ryan Garcia, and we get busy. Like that's it. And he's still coming up with other excuses. 2 Ferraris now. You understand what I'm saying? They even have a conversation. Like it's just always something. How this guy gets away with this, and that chump right there keeps getting away with this nonsense is beyond me. Now Haney, they talking about fighting in the UK, and then on top of that, Tank not responding to like Haney and people like that, but he wants to respond to this dude after this performance yesterday, talking about just give me 3 weeks and I'll go ahead and whoop on you. This is getting more nutty. So we might have our answer as far as if he's going to fight the UK, who we might face. What are your thoughts on everything that I just mentioned?
Oh man, I do still to this day. I think it's not all on Tank. It's a lot of that. Just like you showed, a lot of that is people, and that's Ellerby.
You must don't listen to Tank then. Like Tank is he all on board with all this nonsense.
I really think if Ellerby said, "Hey, we gonna make this fight with Devin Haney, you gonna fight Devin Haney," I think he'd do it.
Can I say? The reason why I'm pushing back on you?
Yeah, go ahead.
The reason why I'm pushing back is because when eventually Floyd started talking about him fighting Lomachenko. He was trying to leave. He got mad and was saying that they trying to get him to lose.
But he was young. He was younger then. This is like what 6-7 years ago. And I understand. I agree. He did kind of. Lomachenko was in his wake, just like Devin Haney was. Him and Lomachenko were at 130 together, champions. And right now, even if you look at their trajectory of both their careers, Lomachenko is on the out, and Tank is kind of looked at as like an emerging star who's still kind of prospect, even in some ways, And he's like almost, he's what, 28, 29. So I still kind of put most of the blame on his handlers and on Ellerby. And it was funny because when the UK thing came up, I kept asking myself, like, who will he fight over there? Is it?
That's what we talked about last
Josh? Exactly. Well, I'm like, Josh Taylor? Who? I mean, I trying to look at who in the UK was even over there around his weight class. Here comes Conor Benn, and it now that you said it, it clicks. Hopefully, that's not what's gonna happen, but I can see that happening.
How can you not? So again, to me, his actions is showing me that he's supporting this. Like, this is the direction that he wants to go. He loves to choose the pit bulls. He loves to choose the Rolly Romeros. He loves to choose the Ryan Garcias, the Mario Barrios rehydration. It's always got to be something. Like, he can't just go head up with somebody who's even quasi a threat. So what makes me think that he's going to go head up with Devin Haney, who's better than all of those dudes I just mentioned?
So what weight this Conor Benn Tank Davis fight is going to be at? Is it going to be at
It's probably going to be some type of catch weight that's attached to it, associated with it. It's going to be something like that. But the man consistently, like, who have you seen him? Okay. He supposedly, which I don't think is true, because Ellerby is with Mayweather. So it's just Mayweather. When he said he probably left Mayweather, it's more so he left Mayweather in the sense of him running his interviews and doing that sort of thing. But as far as who he's getting paid from is Mayweather still, because he's with Ellerby. Floyd Mayweather kicked Ellerby to the curb if he ever left him. Like, okay, I'm still gonna stay with Tank, but no, Floyd is got too much pride for that. So it's something that they're working behind the scenes. So he's still basically with Floyd. But if he left Floyd, what was the reason to leave Floyd? For what? Just to be your own man, but you haven't done anything differently than what Floyd was doing with you when he was the front man. He's still fighting the same type of dudes. So how is it that is he his own man or not? Because if he is, then you can just call the shots. It's not Ellerby can't say what it is that you're gonna do. You the dude. Tank Davis is the one who's calling the shots. He has the last say. He can say, no, I'm not fighting that dude. So how is he not responsible for what's going on? Like, the thing with Tank is he gets the benefit of, it's this other people doing this. It's other people. Are you the man or are you not the man? Because if you're the man, you don't want to call the shots. You say, no, give me Devin Haney. Give me Shakur Stevenson. Give me Lomachenko. That's who I want to face. He's not doing that. But I'm sorry, Tom. What are you going to say? Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, man. I'm with you guys 100%. Like, when I seen him, talking about Conor McGregor, I was like, not Conor McGregor, Conor Benn. I was just like, Conor Benn. And the Conor Benn, he just fought a guy that we don't even really know. So I'm like, how does, Conor Benn, beating the guy we don't really know, give you that, chance to respond? So I'm like, I didn't get it. And then, of course, him talking about, the two Ferraris, it don't make sense, So I kind of feel like he needs to maybe just wait till a fight gets announced and, just stop talking. And I said the same thing about Ryan Garcia. And I know it's don't got nothing to do with the topic, but I'm just going to throw this out because it seems like every time Ryan Garcia would say something, it don't happen. At one point he said he was going to fight Manny Pacquiao. That didn't happen. He was just talking about he was getting ready to fight Rolly, and that's not happening. So to me, it just seems like these guys just need to let promoters just do the talking from this point, because it's like everything they're saying is it's not really making any sense. So, but I'm with you. I don't like the fact that he's calling out, Conor Ben, dissing Conor Ben, and he's talking about 2 Ferraris. And to me, it don't seem like, LB or Heyman and, Floyd. It don't to me, it don't seem like they would let Tank fight in the UK. I mean, what's really going to benefit him except a huge payday? I mean, to me, it seems like the way
that's what they want.
To me, it seems like they just want all the advantages. They just want have the A side in every single negotiation. And to me, this UK thing is just cap to me. I think they're going to keep him fighting in the States and give him all the advantages, and he's just most likely going to fight somebody the fans don't want to see him fight. But of course, we all want him and Devin Haney. No, I don't think it's going to happen. These guys are just going back and forth on social media instead of getting in the ring and letting the fist do the talking. But at the end of the day, I've always said it. Yes, Tank is the guy. He is a star, but he's got a promoter, he's got a manager, advisor, he's got a team, and they're just all protecting him and making these moves for him. And he's just the guy just getting into the ring. To me, it seems like he just don't got no say so. But and if that's the case, then he really needs to find another team. But the way he's been loyal to PBC, I don't think that's going to happen. But he's got other promoters like Eddie Hearn. Like if Eddie Hearn was his promoter, Tank probably had all these fights by now. And that's just my opinion. But at the end of the day, I agree with you guys. I don't like, even though I'm from Maryland, I kind of not liking the stuff Tank is doing, man. So that's my take on it.
So he's doing the same thing with a cherry on top, with cheese on top, that Canelo's doing when he's not fighting David Benavidez. The biggest difference, though, is that at least Canelo is fighting a caliber 2 better opposition than he's facing. Like, he hasn't fought anybody yet. And so I'm saying, like, when you look at the rankings or champions or beat that person that was in your weight class, like, he's never done that. But he's using the A side and, I can call shots when he has done nothing to position himself. It's like what we started the episode off with when you were saying that guys should do this and they should do that. At the very least, you should earn your keep, and we allow this. It's like in politics. When you had Donald Trump running against Hillary Clinton, and he had allegation after allegation after allegation, the poll numbers never change. Or sometimes he'll have some type of controversy, his poll numbers will go up, and it's like they're showing him more support. So when do I get my act together? When will I ever have to change anything, make any alterations to what I'm doing if I'm being rewarded for inappropriate behavior? So if he's continuing to fight these guys that have no chance of winning, especially putting a clause on the fighter, you also fighting dudes who are limited, dudes who like are tailor-made. If no one ever pushes back, you don't see any like diminishing of his proceeds that he's getting for these fights. He's just getting more and more, higher and higher. Why should I stop doing what it is that I'm doing? It makes no sense. Why would I, add more risk to what it is that I'm doing if I'm being handsomely rewarded for what it is that I'm doing? Why should the Harlem Globetrotters face anybody outside of the Washington Generals? You know what I'm saying?
He's compared to Harlem Globetrotters.
Yes, people, I'm saying that because they just want to see him knock somebody out. When you go to see the Harlem Globetrotters, you want to see them, you want to see Curly spin the ball. You want to see the little show when they had a confetti and they throw, you know what you're going to see. It's the same thing, fellas. Like, let's not, let's call it what it is. I'm going to go ahead and get off Tank, or Abdul, and we're going to go ahead and keep it rocking like a cutoff stocking. And Ty, you just mentioned this right here as far as Ryan Garcia. He's back on it. He's doubling down. He said that he wants that Haney fight on 420. And then he said that if he gets the match with Gervonta Tank Davis, it's going to be on his terms. Like, he's showing a little bit more delusion each and every day. You know what I'm saying? But what say you, fellas?
Yeah, I'm with Ty on this one, man. Ryan just be saying stuff. It's like you don't know whether he believes it or not because it changes every day. First, he was going to fight Rolly, then Golden Boy said something, then he was gonna fight Cruz. Then Golden Boy wanted him to fight Jose Ramirez. So I really think that was the intention of them even signing Ramirez in the first place. And he's like, nope, I don't want to fight him. So now he apparently he says he's gonna fight Devin Haney. I haven't heard Devin Haney say anything about this yet. You know, if it's true, we'll hear something from Devin Haney soon. And I'm sure that Devin Haney will fight Ryan Garcia in a heartbeat. So,
well, I don't know if he will now because he kind of got upset because he pulled the rug out on that fight. So he's like, man, don't even mention my name anymore. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. But at this point, I do get tired in regards to these fighters say so much on social media and stuff like that. It changes like every couple of days, sometimes every couple of hours, and you're like, you can't keep track of it. Like, just announce a fight and go through with that fight, or don't fight. Don't say anything at all. That's my thing.
Yeah, that's just to follow up with that. You know, Ryan Garcia's, you know, his former trainers, they said he liked to be in the spotlight. You know, he liked to be in the spotlight. So, like, this is his thing, man. And I recently watched an interview with him on Fight Hype and everything, and I didn't like the interview, man. So, like, it's like I said, Ryan Garcia, man, he just, like, he says things and it doesn't happen. I remember, because I follow him on IG, you know, he posted with him and Manny Pacquiao fighting. That didn't happen. So, like, from this point, man, like, I'm not going to listen to anything Ryan Garcia said. I just wait till, like, something's officially signed and, you know, his promoters are doing the talking for him. But like I said, he says things and it doesn't happen. So, as far as this news with him and Haney, I'm not going to believe it until, you know, something is officially signed. But yeah, that's my take on it. I think Ryan just loves to be in the spotlight.
Yeah, if they actually fight, then it would be an interesting matchup based on their history. You know what I mean? I think they went 3-3 in the amateurs. It would be an opportunity for Ryan, you know, to have another big fight, kind of redeem his performance against Tank. I don't think that he necessarily is ready for Devin, but at the same time, as long as the fight goes and Devin is really not a knockout puncher, he will pose a threat, you know, with his power. And his power, I think it lasts pretty long in a fight, you know, hence his last fight against Duarte when he got him out of there a little bit later towards the middle part of the fight. And he turned things around just like that. You know, Devin's no Duarte, but, you know, we've seen Devin get hurt late in a fight against Linares. So that's the thing. I think it will be a pretty good fight matchup-wise. I think for the most part, Devin will have his way. But like I said, that left hook can come out of nowhere. But it just, sometimes it's not what you do, it's how you do it. And how Ryan is conducting business is just not in a stand-up way. You know, it's like, a lot of times, and especially when it is reoccurring, like this is the same theme that we keep seeing, and you guys alluded to it earlier, like the Pacquiao situation, the Tank situation in the years past, the Devin situation currently, Rolly, you know, it's just a lot of that goes on with him saying he's gonna fight somebody, then it doesn't pan out. I just, like I say, moving forward, I just like for the kid just to keep tight-lipped, you know, and then when that time comes and they actually have things signed and it's without a shadow of a doubt this fight is going to take place, then you start talking about it. You know what I mean? Be more of a stand-up guy in that fashion. But he does have some talent, you know what I mean? And he can be someone to be reckoned with, but it's a lot of talent where he resides, you know what I'm saying, in the 140-pound weight class. I don't know he had a decided size advantage at 135, and I know it's only 5 pounds difference, but 140, he didn't seem as physically imposing at 140 than he did at 135 when he was fighting Duarte. Duarte looked much stronger, had much more of a solid base, and some of those guys at 140, they're bigger guys. So hopefully for his sake that he'll start to fill out at 140 and, you know, start to get his man strength in the future. You know, I like Ryan, man. Some of the things he does, I'm not too much of a fan of. We kind of talked about that, his return, Tank. And then this right here, man, it's official. You know, man. And Ty, we didn't get your thoughts last week. What are your thoughts about the unification matchup between Better Beef and Bivol? It's official like a referee to whistle. It's going to be June 1st. It's signed, sealed, and delivered.
Man, this is the blockbuster fight. You know, this is what the fans wanted. You know, I did interviews asking fighters about this fight, and I'm excited about it. You know, Bivol, he's the guy. You know, he's the guy that keeps the power punches off of him. Like we've seen what he did with Canelo. He keeps his range, he keeps his distance, he throws shots nonstop. Viterbi, he's the guy that breaks you down. You know, he's got the power. So it's a tough one for me to call, man. Like I love the fight. I think Bivol can definitely, you know, keep his range and keep his distance, keep popping Better Biv with nice shots. But I think Better Biv, you know, eventually he'll walk him down and break Bivol down with the power shots. But that's how I see the fight going. I can see Better Biv winning this fight probably by a late stoppage, but it's really hard for me to call. But that's the decision I'm running with. But you know, all around, man, I'm happy for this fight, and I know the fans gonna get one hell of a fight, you know, on June 1st.
You got any additional thoughts, Bill? It's official, man.
Hey, this one-on-one, I don't have to be surprised when this one happened because this was. I don't think anybody's pulling out of this fight. I think it's gonna happen.
Well, you know, Better be having them injuries. This is like really a quick turnaround for him. Normally, he take off about a year and a half, and something happen. You got toothache or you got something. You know what I'm saying? So you know, be on the lookout for that. And he's not getting any younger. So, but we'll see, man. I'm looking forward to that one. That's one of the ones that we've been clamoring for. I'm glad that they ended up, you know, signing for the fight, and you didn't have to have all of the bickering. You remember, like I said, I mentioned this before, Vale and Ty, that the Spence Crawford, like that was climatic in terms of fan bases clashing. It's like, who was at fault? This person at fault. Man, they need to fight. So and so don't want that fight. No, you know, fans are almost on the verge of fighting each other. You know what I'm saying? So I'm glad that, and I know Bill, he used to say a lot of choice words to me. You know what I'm saying? You know, you guys didn't hear that stuff off camera, but in text messages, he would say some real foul stuff.
It went both ways, but we in a good place, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, you in a good place because your boy won. You know what I'm saying? But it's all good, man. Y'all go ahead and hit that like and sub. Before we head on out, man, Ty, you got an interview coming up, man. I seen it, man. I saw something roll across my screen about that. What we got coming up at 4:00 Eastern time, sir?
Yeah, we were scheduled for yesterday and we was about to do it, but for some reason, like I had an echo. Like every time I was talking to him, I had an echo before we went live. So like I restarted the computer, he came back in, and I still heard the echo. So I think it was probably his phone. Because you know, the same thing happened with Tyner. You know, the Tyner interview had a bad echo. You know, I got my cousin to clear that video out, but I think it's something with Detroit, man. Like these fighters from Detroit, and both of them had bad echoes. So like, I told him like, let's just try it for the day, and like he told me he was going to try to get to a laptop, but I haven't heard back from him. So like when I hear back from him, man, we gonna make it happen. You know, set a date. But yeah, I was upset all around about it, but I mean, it is what it is, man. I know sometimes these things happen, but you know, all I can do is keep pushing.
Yeah, man, you do that good work, man. But you know, the thing is with them boys from Detroit, sometimes they get that Flint Wi-Fi. You understand what I'm saying? So they get that Flint Wi-Fi. You know, you might have it might be lagging and stuff like that.
Yeah.
We go, Bill. What you got anything to say about that Detroit Wi-Fi and coming out of Flint?
You got to separate Detroit from Flint, man. And in two different places. It's like saying it's like DC and Richmond. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what if I'm trying to get my Wi-Fi out of Richmond, but I'm in DC? You understand what I'm saying? Like, that's a daunting task. So,
I can't speak on that. I can't. No. It's stuff I want to say, but I don't want to offend my hometown. So.
Oh, okay. Baumgartner and all them. Ones that be trying to do too much, trying to cheat and stuff like that. But it's all good, man. We're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up. We want to say once again, shout out to the legend Ty Finney for coming through. You know what I mean? It's much needed, much appreciated. Love the good work that Ty's doing out there on this station. You know, I stay locked in and tuned in, man. You know, how many interviews is that at this particular point?
15. Yesterday would have been 16, but you know, keep it going, man. Keep it going for sure.
As far as the interviews are concerned, are any of those fellas, you know, the boxers that you've been interviewing, are you going to have them as reoccurring participants on your show?
Yeah, I had Boone twice. The guy that just beat Joey DeVica, you know, the fight I went to in Atlantic City, I'm gonna try to bring him back on, you know, because he won a little title. So I want to bring him back on. We're gonna try to lock that in. But yeah, I did bring Boone back on. So I'm gonna definitely try to get these guys, you know, back on again. But I'm gonna try to get that Malik Titus one because, like I said, his performance against Joey DeVica, you know, it was a good fight. You know, I had a good time out there. So I'm gonna definitely try to bring him back on for sure, man. And as far as I did want to say, you know, I know y'all said that at the beginning of the show, you know, rest in peace, you know, to Carl Weathers, you know, aka Apollo Creed. And you know, as far as the fight, you know, I told you guys about the fight, you know, this month. Like I said, it's on the 24th, Hanover, Maryland. They do have tickets on the website, and the fighters are also selling the tickets themselves. I don't know if it's a price difference, but that is, like I said, that is on 24th. You know, I interviewed Aline. He's on the card, and I interviewed a guy, Izzy Turner, and he's on the card too. So, you know, two fighters I interviewed are on the card. So, like I said, that's February 24th, Hanover, Maryland. That is the same day that Berlanga fights, though. So,
who's the main event?
I'm not sure who the main event is.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. I believe it's two guys. They are in a rematch, but I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with the names.
Bill, you know how far Hanover is from here?
It's about, I want to say it's about an hour because it's like it's kind of, well, it might be a little bit more than that. It's right. It's before you get to Baltimore. It's like outside of, you know, where Arundel Mills and all that, and airport and all that. It's kind of in that range.
Okay. I might have to try to check that one out, man. Certainly appreciate the information. But man, we're gonna go ahead and close this one out, man. We try to keep this thing like an hour, 15 minutes tops, and we right at that, you know, barometer, that mark. Just want to hopefully everybody have a great week. Shout out to Ty, Vale, and we're gonna go ahead and close this one out. Everybody have a good one. Peace.
Peace.
And that